Hey, what is up, you guys? DUMB Universe, and this has been a long time coming, and I'm not going to waste much time because I actually have a lot to do in order to make up for stuff that I have been away from for a while. Now, before I get started, however, I will say this. Since this is the season finale of this Death Battle season, I think it's about a good time as any to show this picture that I hopefully put on screen of me with Wiz and Boomstick. I can tell you the story about how I met these two incredible people who make this incredible show after the reaction if you are so interested, but just know that they're really great guys, and my lord, throughout my entire time of living, I didn't even expect to like meet one famous person in my entire life, and I met two in one day, and it was just because I work at a job. I work at a random sushi restaurant, so it's like, okay. But with that being said, we're going to get started with this death battle, which is going to be Sephiroth versus Virgil. Now, if only I was doing reactions regularly to death battle, the few reactions to death battle that I've been doing that I have not gotten to, because the matchups didn't seem to interest me that much. Even the new Batman versus the Spider-Man thing didn't interest me much, because I knew that version of Spider-Man was going to lose, since one, he didn't have as good as tech, and two, well, he probably had good tech, but the whole thing is he didn't have spider sense, which is what the first battle between Spider-Man and Batman even, like, kind of decided. He had spider sense, so you can see a lot of stuff that Batman was trying to throw at him coming. So, yeah. But in any case, Sephiroth versus Virgil has been a widely talked about topic. I'm actually kind of surprised. This was one of those, like, long time matchups that I wasn't really a part of even, like, probably, like, a few months ago. like that's how far away it was. But I can see why. I can never see why. Sephiroth and Virgil have many different traits that kind of both differ and keep themselves the same with each other. Now, I will say this. I'm more of a Devil May Cry fan than I am a Final Fantasy fan. However, I will say I'm more of a Sephiroth fan than I am a Virgil fan, if you know what I mean. If I have to do, like, a quick, like, who I think is going to win off the top of my head, Sephiroth is strong, fast, and, you know, I think he has a power output more than Virgil. But Virgil, I think he has a speed output, and plus his blade can cut, like, dimensions and stuff, and I'm pretty sure it ignores durability. So, however strong or durable Sephiroth is, it's not really going to matter. However, Sephiroth does have excellent healing comparatively to Virgil, while Virgil does have incredible healing as well. If I had to flip a coin, I'd have to say 6 out of 10 times Sephiroth wins, but it's up in the air, really, because I think I'm either kind of underestimating Virgil and overestimating Sephiroth. So we're gonna see what Death Battle has to say about these two characters, and just know that I'm a fan of both Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry. So whoever wins, I won't be mad, and I won't even try to really fight on whoever wins very well, because it's like, I'm not that type of guy. You have other people for that. So we're gonna get started with this, and 3, 2, 1. Now, I thought I might as well watch the season finale, especially since the season finale is actually pretty interesting. Not as interesting as you could say Goku vs. Superman.
Is what he does with power.
But to these guys, power is the measure of a man.
Oh
Sephiroth,
man, that's some
the
good
fearsome
graphics.
one-winged angel of Final Fantasy.
And Virgil, the half-demon son of Sparta from Devil May Cry.
The only guy who survived the reboots when it comes
It's our
to...
job to analyze their weapons,
Is that the new
armor,
Dissidia
and
game I've been
skills to
hearing
find
about?
out
I
who
heard there was
will
going to be a new
win
Dissidia
a
game.
death battle.
Because that's like some top-tier graphics
Through the
on
Lord,
that. That's like
legends
good.
were
That's
passed
really
of
good.
A source of unlimited energy, the Promised Land.
Mm.
Unfortunately, all hope of finding this sacred ground had been lost. Until the Shinra Electric Power Company excavated the remains of a being believed to hail from the very land they sought.
Bring her back to life.
Genova!
Find the Promised Land. But apparently, they just didn't have any Phoenix Downs.
If they couldn't
Apparently not,
resurrect
no.
a being who could lead them to the Promised Land, Shinra decided they would simply create their own.
Because, you know, that's always the best idea.
Genova's cells with those of a humans, they finally found their savior. His name
Sephiroth!
was
There we go. Man, they better have his music playing on in the background. That's how you know he's at his full strength.
Created in a lab. Look at how majestic that
I remember
thing
reading a
is.
comment like that when I watched the 1-minute melee between Sephiroth and Virgil. Just like, He didn't have his...
shampoo and conditioner every single time he bathes.
Well,
Do you know that?
why?
Join his fan club or something?
For research.
Was that a thing that
Shinra
was...
wasn't interested in Sephiroth for his hair. Instead, he was
Even
an
though it's
essential
beautiful.
part of their soldier program.
Wait. This electric company has their own private military? I
Eh.
hate to miss a payment with those guys. Especially
Ah, don't remind me of that moment. Okay, I miss Zack as much as the next guy, but that was like heart-wrenching in the Crisis Core.
This 7'2" behemoth of a blade is a lot like the Nodachi swords they used back in feudal Japan. But instead of wielding something long with two hands like those, Sephiroth only needs one.
Even that speaks nothing of his effectiveness as a warrior.
Yeah, not to mention he can kick your butt like 2 times over in 2 Kingdom Hearts games.
Even better than he really is? It's the total opposite with Sephiroth.
Huh.
With his superhuman speed, strength, and durability, Sephiroth was instrumental in ensuring Shinra's victory in the Wutai War, conquering the last free nation on the planet.
Because I do remember
He
playing
returned
Dissidia
home,
and
a legend.
dying a bunch of
But all
that fiery
those
dude.
warm, fuzzy feelings of victory didn't last long. While on a mission to the town of Nibelheim, Sephiroth found a bunch of books on the Genova project.
So,
That's
hey.
when he discovered he was a secret science project the whole
Hey, Cloud, what if I told you that your entire life was a lie
Sephiroth
and blah, blah, blah,
drove
blah?
him mad. In a rage, he annihilated Nibelheim, but was stopped by a mercenary named Cloud Strife. Sephiroth was impaled by the Buster Sword and fell to his death.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Which is what
Sephiroth
I
killed
would
in
have
action.
said if Sephiroth hadn't dropped into a hole in the ground that led him to the giant Windows screensaver called the live stream.
Because why not?
Stream is a buried river of energy which basically
Made of
maintains
souls.
life across the planet.
Made of
Normally,
souls.
merging with the life stream is the equivalent of entering the afterlife, but not for Sephiroth.
And this is where things get weird, so buckle up. Still conscious, Sephiroth's essence floated through the life stream for years until he absorbed enough energy to rebuild his body. With the energy of the life stream, he can control other beings with Genova cells.
It's hilarious how throughout the entirety of the game you see Sephiroth, but it's never really Sephiroth.
Oh, what the hell? That's his mom? Who
Yeah.
would do that to their own mom? I mean, I know she's a genocidal alien monster, but come on. Probably makes a good breakfast.
Probably.
Sephiroth's descent into the life stream offered him even more. It transformed him from a mere super soldier into the most dangerous being on the planet.
An ultra
It
super
allowed him to
soldier.
throw a man hundreds of feet skyward, move at supersonic speeds, and withstand brutal stab wounds through vital organs.
He's
Because,
got
you know,
fusion
you
powers.
gotta be able to do that if you're gonna be even slightly a badass.
Scenario. He can lift people with his mind, including himself, and then he can just fly. That's how it works, right?
Additionally, Sephiroth can cast magic thanks to his on-hand materia. Materia is crystallized life energy which grants different powers according to the type of material used.
Just embedded that stuff into your skin. You'll be able to do a bunch of shit.
Lightning, ice, and earth-based magic. He can block attacks with barrier and reflect, and heal himself with cure and regen. And ever since jumping into the life stream, he's had unlimited access to his magical powers.
With
Yeah,
his new
so if he has home
godlike
field
abilities,
advantage, you
Sephiroth
basically
can
have
stop
him
mankind
be
from drying up the planet.
pretty much as strong as you're gonna be in his base form.
Doesn't sound so scary.
Nah.
Does that mean he's an environmentalist, or...
But to do
Closest thing
this,
to it.
he decided to use black materia to summon a giant meteor to destroy the planet.
Thanks,
and
Cloud.
absorb all of its life energy for himself.
The best moment of anything. That's what he's known for. Whenever you drop a meteor, whoever you are, that's what you're known for. Madara, Fujitora from One Piece.
30-foot serpent with a spike through the face, and make the dragon's flamethrower attack without even getting a teensy bit hurt.
A particularly impressive feat considering this attack was capable of one-shotting fellow soldier Zack Fair.
Oh, yes, you may need to up your prescription, because that's definitely Cloud.
No, Cloud was just
Yeah.
having false memories there. It was really Zack. However,
Yeah,
it
the
was
story of
Cloud
that
who
was actually pretty
Sephiroth
okay.
pre-life stream with the Buster Sword.
And holy God, is it huge! It's like 2 feet wide. You'd think a stab from that thing would just cut him in half. But
And Sephiroth is kind of like...
And in his rematch with Cloud, he blocked an attack strong enough to crater the metal around him.
Yeesh.
Considering the diameter of the crater, the surface area of Sephiroth's feet, and assuming the most likely steel composition, I
Okay.
estimate this attack to equal nearly 1,600 tons of force.
What about future metal? You ever thought of that?
Sword to stab and lift wannabe heroes by their ribcage, slice through skyscrapers, and shoot energy beams that can shred these huge Mako cannons. From the life stream, Sephi figured out he could create new bodies or even take on other forms.
These forms greatly resemble certain.
Are you gonna be using those forms? Because if you're gonna be using those forms, if that shows up, I'd love to see Virgil take on the fucking supernova.
Black wing, a blatant symbol of his fall from grace.
So basically,
One-winged angel for nothing.
does everything it can to not be subtle. Just like Sephiroth's most devastating attack, Supernova.
Yeah.
It decimates an entire solar system.
Ah.
Wait, if Seph is that powerful, how does anyone ever beat him?
Don't
It's
get
just-
the wrong idea here. There's a lot of debate over how Supernova actually works.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty clear that Sephiroth isn't creating the explosion himself. Rather, he's transporting his foes to a specific point in time within an alternate dimension.
Really?
Oh, Wiz, don't sell him short.
Really?
When he uses the attack, reality literally crumbles away like glass. This is
That-
identical to the animation for certain summoned creatures. According to the official Crisis Core Complete
Okay.
guide,
I can see
summons
that.
draw their targets into their own space in order to attack. And this is no different. In the Dissidia fighting games, Sephiroth goes for the simple approach and opens a dimensional hole to the explosion. The attack is even described as sending destruction even into other dimensions.
Okay.
Summon
I can see
Planet
that.
Buster
That
Warriors
makes
at
sense.
Will, why did he go through so much trouble to get the black materia, which literally summons meteors?
That would explain why the supernova doesn't hurt him. He's not really there, just using those illusion powers of his. With all these powers, I can't believe Cloud and friends were able to take him down.
He's
Man,
not invincible,
alright.
but he's damn powerful. Ever
Damn, yeah.
persistent, Sephiroth departed with a final, chilling promise.
I will
See you
never be a memory.
Why does he sound so bored?
Hey, that's just how he did. That's just how he talks. Don't. That.
2,000
I kind of complain about that
years
too,
of
but
great
he's
things
fine.
transpired in the underworld. The demon warriors
Virgil isn't
rebelled against his evil
100%
master,
different. I mean,
to
like,
protect the
I mean,
world, Sparta
he
did
is
his
somewhat
best to
more
protect
emotional, especially in like the
hell and
reboot game.
But then Sparta got lonely. Or maybe it was just a sausage fest in there. Either way, he snuck out of hell long enough to knock up this chick named Eva. And she popped out a couple of awesome demon slayers.
Ah, one being awesome and the other being semi-awesome.
Dante.
Oh yeah, he fought that witch chick with the hair.
And won!
But
Surprisingly, I was really happy he won.
Was the one and only Virgil.
I am interested to see how Virgil's gonna fare, you know, since Dante set the bar.
Dante hated his being a demon, and Virgil loved it. It's that classic odd couple scenario.
But then one fateful day, in an act of vengeance against the late Sparta, a group of rogue demons separated the two brothers and killed their mother. Virgil
Yeah,
was
that-
believed to be dead.
That
But
sucked.
in reality, Virgil survived and set out on his own path to seek his father's immense power for himself.
And he's
Was once robbed after losing a drinking game? Was that like in the anime or something? I have yet to see that.
Virgil can jump several times his own height, move at supersonic speeds, and heal himself quickly, kind of like that Wolverine guy. He can tough out getting stabbed through the lung.
Okay, he doesn't count.
The heart, body parts, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I don't count rebooted characters as like a. You can like probably get away with
Said
like
not if Virgil's ability.
compositing certain characters into one another, but don't take other universes into account.
Virgil also happens to carry some extra deadly weapons on hand, including a spiffy katana called Tomato.
Yamato.
It's said that this sword can cut through anything,
Whatever.
even dimensions, and probably tomatoes. Actually, Yamato
More likely
is the
tomatoes.
thing Sparta used to seal hell from Earth in the first place.
Because you know it's
Virgil's
not that
sword
important.
prowess draws from his Dark Slayer fighting style, which emphasizes teleportation, lightning quick movements, and even quicker slashes straight from the sheath. This technique is directly influenced by Ei Jutsu, the real-life Japanese art of the quick.
Huh, dude, that's awesome.
Thanks to Virgil's demonic powers, he can attack so fast the blade seems invisible.
Yeah,
The only thing better than fighting with
yeah,
one sword
definitely
is
speeds
fighting
on
with
Virgil's side.
Virgil's ghostly summoned sword.
Sephiroth has some fast swings, but especially if you play Kingdom Hearts 2. But we're not using that Sephiroth.
Blades may be Virgil's bread and butter, but
Like literally the first thing Sephiroth does in Kingdom Hearts 2 is try to just end you, speed blitz. That's it.
Kicks that hit like a cement truck made of lead and KO some of the toughest demons in just a few hits. And hey, looks like he digs Street Fighter.
there's one more trick up Virgil's sleeve. Thanks to his demon blood, he can access a form known as Devil Trigger. And this mode amplifies
Everything, yeah.
Strength, speed, and healing all get a
Look at that, look at this.
making him several times
That's
faster
just-
than before.
That's just cheating.
Badass.
In his quest to become as powerful as his father, Virgil's abilities skyrocketed. He's taken down dozens of demons in the blink of an eye, and escaped an illusion from the sorcerer Arkham, which makes normal people go crazy.
Yeah, that's normal people though.
Show off what a son of Sparta can really do. It's pitting him against his
Beat Arkham.
bro. Sure, Virgil can easily avoid Dante's bullets, but why
Some lesson
not?
in 1 second.
You can spin your sword, line them all up, and fire them back.
I completely forgot that Devil May Cry 3. I need to replay those games. I need to buy the collection. Yeah, you brought that up in Devil May Cry. Dante versus Bayonetta.
So, Virgil and Dante must have destroyed 108,000 raindrops in less than a second.
If Virgil can swing his sword that fast, I bet he'd make a killing mowing lawns, or chopping meat at the deli, or giving haircuts.
Oh man,
or
I'm actually almost trying to reconsider. Maybe Virgil got this. I don't know. Because if Sephiroth goes into its true state, most powerful state, yeah.
55 feet up and hit the ceiling.
When comparing Beowulf's size to Virgil, he appears to be as large as an elephant. Given what's available, this seems like our best measure of Virgil's strength, but there is one issue. The Devil May Cry series makes frequent use of slow motion to depict the absurdity of these characters. This could be a similar case.
So let's look at another slow-mo feat, the rainstorm fight.
At one point, the rain freezes in place for about 2.5 seconds as Virgil and Dante keep moving, indicating a 14,500% speed increase in real time. Applying the same degree to the Beowulf punch gives us an acceleration speed of about 4,882 feet per second. With that in mind, we can apply our previous data to deduce the maximum height sand ceiling. And
This is why I don't do battles. I can't do stuff like this. I'm
20 million newtons of force.
well, all right. Sounds impressive.
Virgil's incredible toughness too.
We already mentioned his super healing factor, but it's even more overpowered than you think. Virgil
Virgil.
once got completely cut in half, but healed so fast that it's impossible to even notice.
And his regeneration ability can be worn down.
Yeah, that's how this weird jester guy beat him.
But it takes a lot to pull off.
I completely forgot about that guy.
Yamato to hop through dimensions to get away if he wants.
Don't use that one.
Never got to rule the demon realm.
I don't even remember if our Virgil, the true Virgil, can do that.
This permanently transformed Virgil into his puppet, irreversibly manipulating his mind in the process.
And then Dante kind of, exploded him. But 1 or 2 losses against someone who's basically goddamn Satan.
I want remakes of the 1 and 2 games since they're considered the sequels to 3 and even 4, I think. I really want like a better updated version of those games if those are our technical endings. You know? Well, good luck, Virgil. I still kind of believe in you, almost more than Sephiroth, but have to see where this goes.
But before we get to the bloody slicing and dicing, pick up some Blue Apron and slice and dice in your kitchen.
Not sponsored. All right, let's get this started. Okay, I'm Maxie. I did some thinking during that little thing. I'm not sure.
You are powerful. I can see it.
Who are you?
I'm your destructor.
Despair.
I was close. You know, we can Monokuma it. I got you. Definitely I love the fact they did this in 3D. I'm happy for that. I think that should be like the quintessential thing to do for every season finale. Just look at this. This is beautiful. Both doing some Shimpo action, gotcha. Ooh, okay. It's not every day that I'm getting characters that can just take those things.
But are you fast enough?
Oh. Ooh, nope.
Don't move.
Yeah, kind of saw this one, just like, come on.
I suppose it can't be helped.
Oh, here it is. I'm gonna guess these are the illusions, because I don't remember him being able to, yeah, we go. I love Sephiroth, but I don't think he knows Kage Goshu no Jutsu.
Stop wasting my time.
I'm pretty sure you can just do that to anything, so yeah. Double trigger. Jesus, I really don't know who to root for. I'm loving how Virgil's taking him on, but it's just like, love me some Seth. For I need to make sure I finish that. Jeez. Okay, now this is one of those battles I think I need to see twice. There's like a whole bunch of other like little small details I need to see.
Behold.
Oh, he healed. Wait, is it?
Supernova.
What?
I saw you to pierce the fabric of our dimension.
What?
So I cast an illusion to disguise this.
What?
Witness oblivion.
But ooh, oh, he survives it. Okay.
I'm free.
Oh, come on, man. What is up with you and coming up behind and stabbing a person? Okay. You know, you do that too.
Extra crispy.
I got a few things to say,
Extremely powerful,
but I'm gonna wait for
but
them to
Sephiroth's cunning
explain.
and stronger abilities led to his victory.
Okay,
Wait a minute,
I do have
thought
something to
the
say.
lore said Virgil's sword could cut through anything. Why didn't it cut through Sephiroth's sword?
Yamato was a unique weapon, but its legend clearly exaggerated. On multiple occasions, it's clashed with Dante's blade and even a common rocket launcher without cutting through either, and sometimes requires an exuberant amount of force to cut through tougher material. But let's discuss the real facts.
Like
All right.
strength. So Virgil with Beowulf could do 720 million newtons, right? But there aren't a lot of good Sephi strength feats to compare.
First,
Not
let's
many.
compare Sephiroth to a fellow first-class member of the soldier fighting force, who had also been experimented on with Genova cells.
Miss you, Zach.
Fair.
Remember him? He's the not cloud guy who fought that dragon.
He's a
At his
better
peak,
Cloud,
Zack
from my
could
opinion,
walk
thanks
the
to
middle
Crisis
door
Core.
with one swing, seemingly with most of his strength. Given the size and width of the door, this feat's sheer strength comes out to 980 million newtons.
And Seph was way stronger than Zack. In fact, if we look at their strength stats when they fought that dragon, Sephiroth was 3.5 times stronger than Zack.
So we're really gonna do that?
Sephiroth's strength
All
output
right.
at over 3 billion newtons. That's almost as much force as 30 Hiroshima bombs.
All right.
Isn't everything though. Virgil was technically faster than Sephi, but
Okay.
Sephiroth has handled people of similar speeds before.
This is
Plus,
also true.
Sephiroth could survive plenty of hits because his healing power is broken.
The capability of Virgil's healing factor was nearly unprecedented, but it had its limits. In contrast, Sephiroth's healing abilities were only limited by his pool of magic, which was unlimited.
It's unlimited
Well,
at this
he
point,
also
yeah.
had to take some time to cast each healing spell, but that's why he distracted Virgil with his illusions.
We know Virgil was susceptible to illusionary and mental attacks, as it's happened to him multiple times and even led to his in-canon demise.
And Sephiroth's illusions could hide his ultimate technique. Yeah, Virgil's healing was pretty awesome, but it was never gonna hold up under an exploding sun to the face.
Virgil put up a good fight, but he couldn't match Sephiroth's superior strength, magic, and techniques.
Looks like this devil's cried for the last time.
Nice
The
one.
winner is
Nope.
Sephiroth.
It's not that bad, but all right. Thanks, Boomstick.
Damn,
All right.
Chad, I play Boomstick.
Van, I play Wiz.
If you want to get the fight music for this episode of Death Battle, just
Okay.
click the link in the description and you can pick it up on iTunes.
You can
I
get
do
me
have a
from
few
4
things to
versus
say
4
about this
Power
before I
Rangers,
quickly
a
end
whole
this
bunch
off.
of death battles.
And if you want exclusive commentary on this episode, then click that box right over there in the corner.
Thank you so much for joining us for Death Battle Season 4. We're excited to show you some awesome episodes next year in Season 5.
Next year. All right. Season 5. Oh wow, that's not so far away. Cool. All right. I was expecting this would be like way farther, but all right. Few things I gotta say about this. Again, I'm not that type of guy to be like, oh man, it was this person should have won because this and that and this. It's more like I'm kind of confused a little bit. Now, Sephiroth is a powerful dude. Yeah, we already know that. We know that through face value. Sephiroth is just considered to be a powerful guy. But the two things I need to hark on, the illusionary thing. If I remember what my gameplay was like when I played Final Fantasy VII, he only did the illusionary thing with Cloud and maybe the other gang with that, but it wasn't really much of a defensive, like combat centric thing. It was more like an in the now kind of moment, you know? I think it was part of the area he was in. Again, I'm sorry I'm being kind of vague and cryptic on certain details, but if you could look a little bit more into it, There's something about the place they were in is what made Sephiroth be able to do the illusionary things. Which means as long as he's not in that specific area, that the point is, if he's not in that specific area, he can't actually do illusions. Because there was no other real moment, like, you know, like in Advent Children, he ever did any illusionary things if this was supposed to be a thing he can just do. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure. But definitely, I will talk about the supernova feat. There's been I'm not the only person who's thought about this. I've actually talked to multiple people when it comes to like Sephiroth and his powers and strengths, and that is involving Sephiroth using supernova. And I'm actually kind of on the side that says that Sephiroth can't use supernova in his base form. He can only use supernova when he's in his ascended state. When you fight him when he's all godlike and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's the only version of Sephiroth that can use that, because it's already like a heavenly, benevolent, not benevolent. He's not nice at all. Omnipotent thing that he turned out to be, right? But base form Sephiroth, I don't think he did that. Then again, this would not be the first time that Death Battle took a character and gave that character, despite the model they used, gave them abilities and stuff that they didn't necessarily have in that state. The best one I can probably come up with at the top of my head is Toph Beifong versus Gara. A lot of people said Toph didn't have certain equipment and stuff because if they're using her child, if she's a child, then clearly she didn't get like the stuff that she got when she was older. The fact that when she turned really old and then she's now connected to the entire like Earth, but that's mostly thanks to a tree, but whatever. Connected to the entire Earth and stuff like that. They did give Toph that stuff in her battle, despite her not being that age or something like and stuff like that. So I can see why they probably did it, but it is kind of weird. It is kind of weird. The end result is still the same, even if he could, like, you know, do a supernova. I don't believe Virgil's pretty badass, but I don't think he can survive a sun blowing up in his face. Like, as much as I want to believe it. However, it's up in the air to say that Sephiroth can, in fact, do supernova in his base form. But again, it can also be Death Battle's thing that they do, where they give abilities and stuff from other iterations of a character. I mean, they did kind of show, like, the rebooted Virgil for some reason, even though those two versions are completely different. At least in forms of canon. Like, the DMC is meant to be a reboot. That means everything about the previous characters are either tweaked, revised, or even different entirely. So that's why I was kind of like, don't do the Dimension Portal thing. Don't do that in the battle, because our Virgil, I don't think he can do that. I don't remember him ever doing that in my time playing Devil May Cry. But okay, so really what I'm expecting people to kind of like tweak about involving this, I fully believe in like multiple battles that the opposing character who died has just as much a chance to win as Sephiroth as the other person did. So Virgil probably has a few things up his sleeve that can take out Sephiroth. I have no doubt about that. However, this was their outcome to their analysis for their descriptions of their characters. So it's just like, unless you're gonna make your own Death Battle here with the same analysis and your own little thing, you do you. But I thoroughly, but on an entertainment value, boom, this was good. Like, that's the one thing you can say about Death Battle. Their entertainment value is very, like, just good presentation. Their analysis is at least somewhat, not somewhat, very informative, even to people like me who played, like, multiple different Final Fantasy 7-esque games, like Crisis Core, 7 itself, Watch Advent Children, and played every single Devil May Cry game, with the exception of one halfway through. I wasn't able to finish that game, mostly because I just found it to be not as good as the I know it's shocking, right? Most people say 2 is like the one you don't really play, but I played 2 like entirely. But it's weird. Yeah, but their entertainment value is great, and this was awesome. And for people who want to know, the review's over, stuff like that is done. You can leave if you want to. But now I'm just gonna say the story about how I met Wiz and Boomstick themselves as like a little celebration to you know, this. Just to be kind of quick about this, I was working over at Kura Sushi. I used to work at Kula Sushi, but since now they got the rights to their name back, now they're going back to Kura Sushi with an R instead of an L in the CU and A. And I was working there, and I was just, there have been many moments when I was working at Kura Sushi where I have to say that my time there was hard, like really hard. When it comes to getting there, if you've been on my channel, you know about the 3-hour bike ride that it takes me to get there every now and then. But now since I bought an electric bicycle, it's a lot easier and stuff like that. But still, driving in the cold, driving in the rain, driving in the cold, winding rain, still makes me kind of irked off sometimes. But it was on a day that happened, and I was kind of like miffed off and stuff like that. I was just walking around, and it was time for me to go on my 20-minute break. And I was like, okay, go on my 20-minute break, just take my opportunity, get some water, and go into the break room and just have my time. So I'm walking out of the kitchen area, and I'm walking toward the refreshments aisle, and I see a guy who looks weirdly like Wiz, just like weirdly like Wiz. I'm like, huh. And in my head, I'm like, I bet people probably go up to him and say, hey, did you know you kind of look like Wiz from Death Battle sometimes? And this literally went in my head. I'm like, it's like me thinking that this guy goes around and is just like, oh man, there's another person who thinks I'm this guy again. So I get my water. I walk past him, and I get my water, and I come back. And as I'm coming back, I see Boomstick. And I'm like, and then I look at their shirts, and I see the animator, and I see other people all wearing Death Battle shirts. And I'm like, alright, okay. You can walk up in an area and randomly see one guy who probably looks like someone famous. That's common norm, you're right? That's how that is. But when you see two, and then you see Death Battle shirts, and then you see the other guys also with them, and this crew of people, you kind of have to say these are the guys. So it hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't interact with them at all on my first way through. I walked past them, I sped past them, and then I talked to my manager and said, hey, did you know that Wiz and Boomstick are eating in the aisle over there, just over in that segment? And then by all sense of imagination, my manager's like, Wiz and Boomstick? Like, Death Battle Wiz and Boomstick? Like, the one and onlys. And it's just like, he was like, he turned into the Flash. He turned into the Flash and broke speed. He was gone from that kitchen like I don't even know. It's like he instant transmission out of there. I'm like, where'd he go? Like he went straight to them, and I followed suit, and we just interacted with each other. I was trying. It's very hard. When people said their stories about how they met certain like YouTubers and stuff like that, like John Tron, Jacksepticeye, and I hear them say that they were kind of like being this weird giddy person and stuff like that. And usually when I said, well, they're still people, once you meet them. But it's something so cathartic when you meet a person randomly, meet that person that you see on the internet for a long time, especially if they run a pretty legit channel and do really cool stuff, and then you meet them. It's hard to say. You actually have to be there to actually get. It's like a very niche thing, because I was doing my best not to sound or act weird, but that only made me act more weird, But luckily they were cool dudes. They understood everything. Just like they were happy that I enjoyed their content and stuff like that. And it's just, I was happy. I was really happy about that. I was this close into asking them, hey, I was wondering if there were ever going to be like some Naruto, besides Gaara, some Naruto related death battles. Happy I didn't tell them, because I shouldn't tell them or get like a personal request or personal question like that. But I'm happy to know that Naruto vs. Ichigo came out afterwards, so if I did ask them, they could have been like, we can't say anything, but just know it's on our minds. And I would have been like really excited. But it's the fact they were so cool about it. And I got a picture with them, and again, in that picture, I was trying not to be awkward, but damn, do I look awkward. But hey, that's just it. So it turns out, Rooster Teeth in general goes to Kura Sushi. Like, in general. At first, I was like, I thought it was just Wiz and Boomstick and the crew. They come out every now and then, and they even said that they've been coming here for a while now. They've been doing this as a regular thing. So I was like, there were probably days where I made them ramen, made them sushi, made them things in the kitchen, and I didn't even know it. So it's funny how throughout my days of working at Kura Sushi, I'm probably serving Rooster Teeth members, and this is even more confirmed because we had a Rooster Teeth member show up at our college to talk about like some animation stuff. It was a guy who worked on Ruby himself, and as soon as I told him about, hey, I met Riz and Broomstick over at Kura Sushi. Oh, you met those guys? Those guys are great. And it's just like, and it's a Kura Sushi. You work there? Yeah, me and some other guys go over there sometimes. It's just like, apparently a lot of Rooster Teeth members like some sushi. So it's like, so that's cool. In my book, it's just like for a while now, I've been thinking about like leaving the job because I haven't really been. Because since it takes a lot to get there and it takes a lot out of me, it drains me. I usually think maybe it's about time that I hang this up and probably get a closer job or something like that. But now that I know that I'm potentially serving great guys such as Rooster Teeth members and Screw Attack members over at Kura Sushi, that's enough of a drive to make me get up in the morning. Well, not get up in the morning, stay up all night until I have to get up at 6 and leave at 6 and get there for 8. But whatever. It's enough to keep me around because that right there is really good. All right, that's just me. So yeah, that's that story. That's that story. And hopefully you guys are enjoying my reactions as much as you enjoy things that you get from Rooster Teeth and things you get from Screw Attack. Because while this is not as oh my god, I'm working myself to the bone just to get this content out to you guys, I do appreciate everything that you guys say and tell me that I do for you guys. There's been multiple occasions that I go on my Twitter, even though it's rare I go on my Twitter. But when I do go on my Twitter and I see a guy or girl or a person in general get asked a question, hey, I'm looking for new reactors. Do you know anyone I can, like, do you recommend anyone? And then they put this list, and I'm I'm part of that list. And it's just like that makes me happy. And that and just for me being happy just by seeing that, I just wonder how happy they are getting thousands upon thousands of things like that on their everyday lives. So yeah, it's something. It's perspective, really. So yeah. So, and my last thing to say about that is, don't ever think you're not gonna meet someone, like, in general, like that you've been trying to, like, meet for a long time. Don't ever think you might never, because the world, as big as it is, it's really small. It is really small, because I completely, like, negated everything in my mind. It's like, oh yeah, Rooster Teeth's in Austin, aren't they? Oh yeah, they're in Austin, aren't they? Okay. And I thought I'd never be in Austin until, you know, college kicked in. So it was like, okay. So all set in circumstances, just like if I decided to go to college in Houston instead of coming down here to Austin, I would never have met those guys. Probably never have met those guys, at least for a longer time that it was. It was just like circumstances, butterfly effects, whatever. So this is Do You Want to Be a Universe. I need to push that button. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully I get other reaction stuff down. I'm not going to say much about the situation until I get done with this entire marathon I'm trying to do. I got all the time in the night. So I'm just expect me to be in this wear for a while when it comes to uploads. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.